Hey, this is Gigi, and I have a fun fact for you. Did you know that Paul McCartney, the man that we know today as Paul McCartney, is considered a double by a lot of people in the world? People who think that the real Paul McCartney died in 1966 in a car crash? Another fun fact. Did you know that the man that is credited for styling and creating the imagery for the Beatles was Cecil G., a world-renowned male clothing maker? And he had a son named Michael G. And that son changed his name for some reason to Lucian Grainge.
The story. Well, here is explosive allegation number 4 coming from this lawsuit. That the person who sits at the top of this ring potentially is Sir Lucian Grainge. He is the CEO of Universal Music Group. He is also being sued. He has also been named as well as Universal Music Group. And he is, as a fact, one of the most powerful men in Hollywood. He runs, again, Universal Music Group, which is huge. Well, Rodney, the producer, is alleging that when Lucian would visit Diddy's house, the two of them would go into Diddy's bedroom and be locked up in there for hours. What does that mean? What are we supposed to think of that? By the way, I looked into Lucian, obviously, because I was fascinated by this document, and I find it really bizarre that he completely changed his name. He used to be Michael G., the son of Cecil G., who was a huge tailor in London. I found that in this old article, The Guardian. The headline is "Forgotten and Overlooked: How Jewish Designers Dressed the Beatles and Changed Global Fashion." And in this article, there's a picture of Lucian. He was then, again, Michael G. He's sitting with his father, Cecil G. And it's just bizarre that also his father changed his name. In the article, it tells you that his father used to be Sasha Goldstein. So Sasha Goldstein became Cecil G., who gave birth to Michael G., who is now Lucian Grainge. And I mean, totally bizarre rabbit hole. If you guys want to look into it, I just thought it was weird. I did a cursory search and found all of that.
Good evening, this is Gigi, and tonight we're going to focus on Lucian Grainge, Ethiopia Habtemariam, and United Music Group. I predict the dismissal. As I told you guys in the first segment, none of these defendants had been served. So the raid on P. Diddy's homes are just the result of Tyrone Blackburn finally getting his paperwork together and issuing that summons. Now, a lot of people were confused because Homeland Security was the federal agency that went in. But according to the RICO statutes, any federal agency can serve a RICO charge. Now, as this case goes on, for as long as it'll go on, I'm sure they'll streamline it. And so you'll see a lot more other federal agencies kind of coming up to the plate. But I do believe that Homeland Security was the agency that went in because they had the manpower to go into the Miami home, the Los Angeles home, and the New York home at the same time with the same intensity. Now, the second segment, we talked about the allegations and how they were just sensationalized. I really didn't believe half of it. It's not that I didn't believe that these things happened. I just didn't believe that it was really forced. And so this brings us to this segment of Inside the Courtroom and why I believe Lucian Grainge, along with Ethiopia Habtemariam and the United Music Group, will be dismissed. So here's the issue. First of all, Donald Zacharin, who is the attorney for Lucian and Ethiopia Habtemariam and United Music Group, says that Brendan Paul, Frankie Santella, Moy Bond, and Christina Courtroom all work for P. Diddy, not the United Music Group. They were the core of Puffy's establishment. The second thing that I thought was really, really damaging is that both Lucian Grainge and Ethiopia Habtemariam say that they've never been to Puffy's homes, other than Habtemariam saying that she has been to his LA home maybe 4 times, and each time it was for business. She also says that each of the times that she was in Puffy's LA home only, it was before September of 2022, and that was before Lil Rod even came into the picture. She says she's never even met Lil Rod. She doesn't even know him. So that is going to be damaging because that was a big part of the first allegation that Lucian Grainge had gone up into, was bringing bags of cash to Puffy's home, and then that Lucian Grainge himself got lost in Puffy's bedroom for some hours. So that's damaging when you have Lucian Grainge saying that he's never been to any of Puffy's homes. Okay, so you have this characterization of these people who are representing this United Music Group, and saying that they're a part of a RICO, but nothing is consistent. You can't really connect them. It's like you're grabbing to try and connect them. And I understand why he's trying to connect them, but I don't think it's going to work. I think they're going to dismiss it. So this lie that Ethiopia Habtemariam is going to testify against Diddy, that is a flat out lie. So if you really want to know what's going on with this case, you need to subscribe here, because we're not going to sensationalize it. We're just going to tell you the facts. And so many of those gossip blogs said that Ethiopia Habtemariam was going to testify against him, that her declaration was against him. No, it wasn't. Ethiopia and Lucian Grainge have the same lawyer. They're on the same team. So that 32-page memorandum to dismiss from Donald Zakarin should be interesting, because it really alleges that Tyrone Blackburn and Lil Rod Jones improperly accused Grainge and Habtemariam of assisting and participating in Combs' criminal enterprise. Both Habtemariam and Grainge say that they did not have a partnership with Pdiddy and his companies. They had contractual agreements, but no partnership. So they really had nothing to do with his enterprise. And they go as far as actually accusing Blackburn of misusing his license. So it seems as if they're going to try and maybe affect his license in some type of way, saying that he's basically self-promoting and reckless with his claims. You know, they're not even entertaining any type of talk of resolution or settlement. So, it's going to be a fight. And Tyrone Blackburn right now is on leave because he has to come back with a statement to Donald Zakarin's memorandum to dismiss. And I don't believe he's going to be able to combat it. And so I really predict that they are going to be dismissed from this case. The RICO will handle everything that needs to be handled anyway. And so, if they're going to get dismissed, so be it. If they didn't have anything to really do with P. Diddy's enterprise, so be it. You can't say that they did. Even if they did, you got to prove it. And Tyrone Blackburn, he's not proving it. So, back to Sir Lucian Grainge. I find him very mysterious. Michael G was his name. His father is Cecil G, which I find to be the coolest thing ever. I mean, his father basically had a clothing line in London, a renowned clothing line. He was credited as being the creative mind behind the imagery and some of the styles of the Beatles in their early years. I mean, I find that to be a noble type of profession. So I don't understand why Sasha Goldstein, who is actually Cecil G, who is the father of Michael G, who is now Lucian Grainge. And so it's so weird. And so I don't know. So there you go. And my question is, does that have anything to do or any bearing on this case? And or should it? Inevitably, I believe that this case is going to be dismissed against Sir Lucian Grainge, against United Music Group. And so we'll see if they have proof, and if they can prove their case, so be it. But my prediction that they're going to be dismissed. But you still have the RICO, and the RICO is going to be basically what brings the justice that everyone is looking for anyway. So this other stuff, I think, is just going to keep falling off. So we'll see what happens. What do you guys think about the Paul McCartney theory? I am so late to the game because I had no idea about this, and it just, every time I talk about it, it just kind of makes my heart beat like, my God, it's so spooky. But anyway, I did a video about that and that subject. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this movie called The Boys from Brazil, but I've linked it below if you want to watch it. And thanks again for all of you who have joined me. This is Gigi, and subscribe, like if you liked the video, and meet us back here again. Peace.